Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the world's most bizarre and head-scratching laws. Today, we're heading to the Sunshine State, Florida, a place known for its beautiful beaches, vibrant nightlife, and a very peculiar rule about parachutes. Get this. In some parts of Florida, it's technically illegal for an unmarried woman to parachute on a Sunday. I know, it sounds like a joke from 100 years ago, but let's unpack this. Is it real? Where did it come from? And could you actually get arrested for it? Let's jump right in. First off, let's address the big question. Is this law actually on the books and enforced? The short answer is, it's complicated. You're not going to see police officers waiting at the landing zone on a Sunday morning to arrest single women. This law falls into the category of dumb laws, or blue laws, that are relics of a bygone era. Many of these laws were never officially repealed, so they technically still exist, but they are completely obsolete and never enforced. Think of them as legal fossils, perfectly preserved, but with no practical function in the modern world. No prosecutor would ever take such a case to court, and if they did, it would almost certainly be thrown out for being unconstitutional and just plain ridiculous. So, if you're an unmarried woman planning a skydiving trip in Florida on a Sunday, you can breathe a sigh of relief. Your exhilarating freefall won't be followed by a trip to the local jail, but that doesn't make the law any less fascinating. The real question is, why did it exist in the first place? To understand this, we need to travel back in time. The exact origin is murky, as is the case with many of these old, strange laws. However, most experts point to a combination of two historical factors: blue laws and the social norms of the early 20th century. Let's start with blue laws. These were laws designed to enforce religious standards, specifically the observance of Sunday as a day of rest and worship. Originating in the colonial era, these laws prohibited a wide range of activities on Sundays, from selling alcohol to working to engaging in certain recreational activities. The idea was to keep the Sabbath holy. Over time, many of these laws were challenged and struck down, but some remnants lingered. The restriction on parachuting on a Sunday likely falls under this umbrella. It was seen as an inappropriate or overly frivolous activity for a day that was supposed to be reserved for quiet contemplation and religious devotion. But why specify unmarried women? This is where the social norms of the time come into play. In the early 20th century, society had very rigid ideas about how women, especially single women, should behave. They were expected to be demure, modest, and certainly not engaging in daredevil activities like jumping out of airplanes. Such an act would have been seen as unladylike, attention-seeking, and perhaps even morally questionable. It defied the delicate domestic image that was expected of unmarried women. So, when you combine the strict religious observance of Sunday with the paternalistic social controls placed on women, you get a law like this. The logic, however flawed it seems to us today, might have been something like this. Parachuting is a dangerous and unseemly spectacle. Such spectacles should not occur on the Lord's Day, and it is especially unbecoming for an unmarried woman, who should be a model of piety and modesty, to participate in such a vulgar display. It's a perfect storm of outdated religious piety and gender-based discrimination. It's also possible that there was a specific incident that prompted this law. Imagine a scenario from the 1920s. A barnstorming pilot comes to a small Florida town, and as part of the air show, a young, single woman performs a parachute jump on a Sunday. The spectacle draws a huge crowd, perhaps distracting people from church services. The town elders, scandalized by both the timing and the gender of the jumper, rushed to pass an ordinance to prevent such a moral outrage from ever happening again. While we don't have a record of a specific event like this, it's a very plausible explanation for how such a targeted and bizarre law could come into being. Over the decades, as society changed, the law was simply forgotten. Aviation became more common, skydiving evolved into a regulated sport, women's rights advanced, and the strict observance of blue laws faded away. The law remained on the books, not because anyone wanted to enforce it, but because no one bothered to go through the legislative process to remove it. It's like finding an old, dusty rule book in your attic for a game nobody plays anymore. You don't throw it out, you just leave it there. And Florida is not alone in this. Almost every state in the U.S. has a collection of these weird, antiquated laws. In Alabama, it's illegal to wear a fake mustache in church that causes laughter. In Arizona, it's illegal to have a sleeping donkey in your bathtub after 7 p.m. These laws are a source of amusement and a fascinating window into the past. They reflect the fears, priorities, and social anxieties of a time that is vastly different from our own. The Florida parachute law is a prime example. It tells a story about a time when public morality was legislated down to the smallest details, when a Sunday was legally different from any other day of the week, and when a woman's freedom of choice was significantly more restricted. It's a reminder of how much social attitudes can change in just a few generations. What was once considered a potential threat to the moral fabric of a community is now a popular and empowering recreational sport enjoyed by people of all genders on any day of the week they choose. So, what can we take away from this? First, don't believe every weird law list you read online without a little skepticism. While the laws might technically exist, they are almost never a reflection of current legal reality. Second, these laws serve as incredible historical artifacts. They're not just silly rules, they are echoes of a different time, whispering stories about our ancestors' lives and values. They show us the journey we've taken as a society and highlight the progress we've made in areas of personal freedom and equality. And finally, it just makes for a great story, doesn't it? The image of an unmarried woman being forbidden from parachuting on a Sunday is so specific and so absurd that you can't help but smile. It's a piece of legal trivia that perfectly captures the unique and often quirky character of Florida. So next time you're in the Sunshine State and you see skydivers gracefully descending from the heavens on a beautiful Sunday afternoon, take a moment to appreciate it. You're witnessing an activity that, according to the dusty, forgotten law books, might just be a little bit rebellious, and it makes the view all the more enjoyable. What's the weirdest law you've ever heard of? Let me know in the comments below. I love reading about these strange remnants of the past. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of America's silliest laws, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into the bizarre and fascinating corners of our world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.